Hey everyone, it is Saturday, March 26th. The time right now is 2:35 p.m. and the temperature is around 6 degrees Celsius. There's a look over towards Yonge Street. And that's a northbound Line 1 shuttle bus making its way up to Eglinton Station. And that's what actually brings me to this location to start this one. I was going to hop on the subway and head downtown. And I was unaware that once again the TTC had closed this portion of Line 1 over the weekend. And I've got with me a new toy. There is the new scooter. That is a Segway Ninebot Max. I think the model is the G30P. So I wanted to see what it was like bringing this thing onto the subway, as it's a bit heavier than my other scooter. But instead I'm just going to start the ride here and I'm going to head downtown and then probably ride back up to Midtown. Well, I don't really have much other choice. And I haven't actually ridden this thing before, other than riding it from my apartment down here. I almost have a full battery. And I've got the app fired up. If I can turn it on. All right, I'll hop on and we'll get moving. And away we go. And here is Yonge Street. So I'm just going to turn right here and start heading south. Though I probably won't stick to Yonge Street the whole way. I think it was about 3 weeks ago when I recorded my first bike ride of the year. And I came down south on Yonge Street here. So this is just south of Eglinton Station, heading towards Davisville Station. And according to the FedEx tracking info, I wasn't expecting this scooter until Monday. So I was a bit surprised this morning when I got a knock on the door and it was the FedEx guy. So I quite eagerly opened this up, put it together, although there wasn't a whole lot of assembly required. And I charged it up. I also put some more air in the tires. I brought them up to 55 psi. And away we go for the Maiden Voyage. And I don't know if you heard that beep there, but I think that was my scooter telling me that I have just engaged cruise control. Here is Chaplin Crescent. So let's turn right here. And this thing has 4 different modes. There's an eco mode. I think that one goes quite slow. There's one called Drive, which is what I'm in now, and I'm currently going about 24 kilometers per hour. And there's a Sport or Speed mode that goes 30 kilometers per hour. And then there's another one which is an assist mode. I'm not quite sure how that works. Truthfully, I didn't really read the manual. I just kind of put it together and jumped on it. Let's go left here and cut through the park. That car held up for me. I did indicate that I was going to turn there with my left arm. There's a dog fight going on. So this is Oriole Park. I can kind of hear my phone rattling around on the handlebars a bit. I did order a new mount. This is the one I use on my bike. It doesn't fit quite well. That well. Maybe I'll just take the phone off the mount and throw it in my pocket so we don't have to listen to it rattling around. And this scooter has some rather big advantages over my old scooter, which I still have, and I'll talk a bit about that and why I bought this. All right, I'm gonna take my phone off the mount here. Just slide it into my pocket, that way we don't have to listen to it knocking around. This is Gormley Avenue. So at the end of last year, the last time I used my scooter, I tried to charge it and it only charged halfway. And I just kind of left it like that over the winter, and then when I brought it out, I tried to charge it again, and despite taking like 5-6 hours, which is the normal time to charge before the charger went green, still it only showed me 2 out of 5 bars. And I took it out and I got about 10 minutes on it before it was dead. So then I managed to completely drain the battery. I got it to the point where it wouldn't even turn on. There was no residual power left. And then I charged it, and then I got full bars, and that was pretty cool. I went out and recorded a ride, one which I couldn't upload due to camera difficulty. And then that same problem kicked in again, where it would only partially charge. So I'm going to reach out to the manufacturer and see if I can get that fixed, as it should still be under warranty. But I just decided to go ahead and get a new scooter anyways, and there's a few reasons for that. And in this drive mode here, it's a bit slow off the line. But the biggest reason is my old scooter, I think I had an advertised range of around 28 to 30 kilometers. But realistically, I wouldn't get anything close to that. It would go about an hour and a half before it would give up the ghost, which when you're trying to do a live stream, that's an hour and a half. It doesn't give you much time in terms of getting to the spot where you want to stream and then streaming and then getting back home. In fact, there was one stream where I ran out of juice. And this one has an advertised range up to 65 kilometers, although that would be maybe if you're 100 pounds soaking wet riding in eco mode on a perfectly smooth surface. However, realistically, reports online, people are reporting they get around 40 to 45 kilometers out of it. So it just allows me to go further and longer. And it's also the e-scooter that Action Kid swears by. It's also a bit of a smoother ride. It's got air-filled tires instead of solid tires. There's no suspension to speak of. I'm definitely noticing that it's smoother. And I should have mentioned, we're back on Yonge Street. In the sanctity of a bike lane. And there's a companion app where you can track your rides, and you can lock the scooter, which I couldn't do with my other one. So if everything's better, why do I still like the old one? Well, there's one big difference. This one is a lot heavier. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to test going up and down the stairs and taking it onto the subway. I was still able to pick it up rather comfortably with one hand, but I think it's a good 15 pounds heavier than my other one. As you can see, the ground is quite wet. I was going to take this out earlier today, but it was raining. Actually, before that, I had planned on coming downtown and doing a walk. Now that there's shuttle buses running, I'm kind of glad that I just opted to do this instead. So I don't really know what I'll do with the other scooter once I get it fixed up. Might still use it from time to time, or find a new home for it. And the place where I got that one actually sells this model. Although I got this one from Best Buy. Normally it's $1,200, but they had it for $100 off. I found some used on Facebook Marketplace in Kijiji, but I felt a little more comfortable buying a new one. Here is Scrivener Square. It's turning out to be a decent day, although we are supposed to get more rain in a couple of hours. It is a kick scooter, so I have to give a little push in order to get going. And even though there's a faster mode, I think for recording, probably won't go much faster than this. So on that first bike ride that I recorded of the year, I turned right at Bloor Street. Maybe in this one I'll just stay south. And we'll see what Yonge Street's like. And I'll probably turn right at some point. There is Rosedale Station. My original plan was to just bring this thing onto the subway and ride down to Rosedale. And then from there I was going to head south, but I figured since I had to ride down this way anyways, I might as well start in Midtown. And the subway is running for this stretch. It's only to St. Clair where it's not running. So the Yorkville neighborhood is just in on the right here. Maybe what I'll do is I'll head down to Queen and I'll pop over to Spadina and I'll head north up that as I splash through some puddles. That's one advantage of the air-filled tires. They do perform better in wet conditions than the solid tires on my other one. And these are self-healing tires, so if you do get a puncture, it's generally not a problem on these ones. Here is Yorkville Avenue. It says road closed. I'm just gonna pop in here for a second. I'm gonna throw my gloves on. I don't instinctually yet know where the kickstand is. It's not in the muscle memory yet.
You really asking me why I think it's a good idea?
There is the reference library across the street. It's certainly not glove weather, but when you're moving around on one of these things, it kind of is. And I remembered to put the wide-angle lens attachment on the camera this time. This bike lane is quite choppy. And here is Bloor Street. And there's some emergency vehicles. There's probably an incident in the subway station. And this intersection is all decorated with Ukrainian flags. This is some Mad Max style riding right here. Now it's south on Yonge into downtown. For some bizarre reason, the bike lane only goes to Bloor Street, although there are plans to add a bike lane just south of here. I just dropped a bar on my battery while it's flashing. And the cruise control engaged. So I think to engage it, you just have to hold the throttle down for 5 seconds. And those are those beeps you hear every time. I'm probably gonna turn those beeps off just for when I'm recording, so you don't always have to hear them.
Get that to me. Get that to me.
There's a nice burst of sunshine. And this is probably the most common e-scooter you'll see on the streets. Yes, let's stand on the road while looking down at our phone. It seems as if Yonge Street is always in need of a resurfacing. There's a couple of right-turning cars. You always want to stay left. Although, these pedestrians are providing some cover here. So the battery meter has 5 bars, and I have 4 solid bars and 1 flashing bar. Maybe that's its way of saying it's between 80 and 90%. Here's College Street. And here is Gerrard Street. Concord Sky is moving in on the southeast corner there. And this is Gould Street. And the crowds are back at Yonge and Dundas. Looks like there might have been an incident right here. Here is Shooter Street. That is, of course, the Eaton Center just on the right. All right, here is Queen Street. I'm gonna turn right here and take this over to Spadina, I think. And I'll start making my way up north. There are no right turns at this intersection. I just made an exception for myself. So this is west on Queen Street West and into a pretty good wind. There's City Hall on the right. I'm actually going to pull in here for a second. And the ice rink is no more. I'm going to pull my phone out and see if I can turn off that annoying beeping. That seems to happen every time the cruise control engages. Let's see if I can figure this out. No, I don't want to end the ride. Okay, I guess I'm going to end it. Ah, so it's not going to let me access the other features unless I end my tracking here. So far we've traveled 5.73 kilometers and our ride time is 29 minutes and 43 seconds. Oh well, I guess we'll just have to live with the beeping. Should have used another app to track it. Oh well. Here's a nice view of City Hall anyways. There's Old City Hall. So back to Queen Street. It didn't roll as easily off that mini curb as I thought it would. And here is University Avenue. Oh, that guy passed a little close. So this is a rather busy area for retail. And here's McCall Street. There's a healthy amount of people on the sidewalks here. It's been a while since you've seen this kind of activity on Queen. What is this van doing? Oh, it's got its four-ways on. There's where I got my e-bike repair and run. Professional bike, e-bike, and e-scooter repair. If the camera will get over in that direction. Perhaps one day I'll be bringing this thing into there. Look at this mess. This Hyundai is trying to take this spot here on the right. And Banana Avenue is up next. And this will take me up through Chinatown. Okay, so that fifth battery bar that was flashing has stopped flashing, and now I've just got four solid bars. So I'm guessing I'm a little under 80%. Here's the main intersection in Chinatown. So what I'll do is when I get north of College, I think I'll throw this thing into sport mode. And I'll let it rip just for a little bit. Actually, here's a red light. Maybe I can figure out how to flip the mode here. I think I just double tap the power button. There we go. Now we're moving pretty good. It is going 29. I just hit 30 for a second. And here is College Street. One thing with the smaller wheels on the scooter, you do have to keep your eyes peeled for potholes. Throttle is a little sensitive. I'm trying to peg myself to a speed a little bit slower than max. And even if I were to head straight back home from here, I don't know if my other scooter would make it. There's a bit of an uphill climb between here and Midtown. But this thing's easily gonna make it. So I'll be able to do some cross-city videos and live streams. My e-bikes also have pretty good range. Here is Harvard Street. There's a pothole. I'm going to turn left here on Bloor. Check the camera. This is definitely going to be a longer video. I have to start watching my camera battery. I started at around 85%. Car, what are you doing? The car was just backed right into me. In fairness to it, I was a little close, but still, you gotta check your mirrors before you do that. I'm gonna just put myself into drive mode again. And this is the Annex neighborhood. not as busy up here as it is on Queen. I seem to be riding into a pretty good wind. So I think what I'll do is I'll just head through Koreatown over to Christie Street, and then I'll go north from there. Start to make my way back up to Midtown. I'd say the overall experience of riding this and controlling it relative to my other e-scooter are quite similar. It's not much difference. Thought that guy might be jumping out into the bike lane there. Here's Christie Street. I guess I should practice ringing the bell. There we go. Pretty easy. And just have to commit that motion to muscle memory. It's a twist motion. So this is north up Christie Street. And I do preemptively have another camera on me, so if this one does run out of juice, I can swap it and continue recording. And I used to live around here, just south of here, on Penrith. There's the spin cycle coin laundry I used to go to, just on the left. And here is DuPont Street. And I think I get a bike lane just north of here. Just gonna check how the camera battery is doing. And I'm gonna put myself into the sport mode just for tackling this big hill. Still seems to be some battery life. Ooh, this wind is good. Pretty good. I meant that girl turned around and started walking backwards. When you see people doing that, you know it's a pretty strong wind. And I am riding right into it. And here comes the battery draining steep part of the hill. This is never fun on the single speed. And even on the fastest mode, I'm going 18 kilometers per hour. I've noticed on my e-bikes, hills tend to take a pretty good bite out of the battery. I'm sure it's the same on this thing. And you know what? Coming up is the Witchwood Barns, just on the right. And I'm gonna pull in here and preemptively swap the camera out, as I'm not sure my current one is gonna make it for the rest of the trip. So let's do that. This is an old streetcar facility. Just gonna pull over to this bench here. All right, I will be back. And we're back. That took me a few minutes, but I think the camera swap was successful. I'm just gonna kick scoot my way through here without the power. There's just a lot of kids in the area. I'll head north here up to St. Clair. Just have to adjust my backpack here. There we go. Starting to slip off one of my shoulders. These streetcar tracks are no longer used. That's how the streetcars would come down to the streetcar facility where I just was, which is now kind of a unique live workspace for artists. Now the million-dollar question, did I turn my audio back on? I did. That would have sucked if I forgot to do that. And now it's east on St. Clair Avenue West. And this is another neighborhood where I used to live. And this is Vaughan Road. And here is Bathurst Street just up ahead. And I still have 3 bars. So I think that should be somewhere around 60%. I wish it just said the percent. And this is a pretty long light cycle. Be careful to make sure a door doesn't fly open when you see a car parked like that. Now on the left, just north of here, is the Forest Hill neighborhood. And I'm going 30 kilometers per hour. And here is Spadina Road. That's Winston Churchill Park on the right. That's where those cars are parked alongside. Ooh, there's a nasty pothole. And here is Avenue Road. Doesn't indicate and hits the curb. Good job, Lexus. Somebody got their license in a box of Apple Jacks. There's someone else who doesn't know how to signal. I apologize for all the beeps you keep hearing. I am going to turn those off. The advantages of being narrow. And the Russian consulate is ahead, but I don't think there's a protest going on this weekend. I think everything's just backed up because of all the shuttle buses because of the subway closure. This is Yonge Street, straight ahead. I'm going to turn left here, but not with traffic. So I'm going to go north here up to Davisville, but this next stretch won't overlap with where I started because I didn't come south on this part of Yonge. Oh, come on. What the? Good job, lady. You really have to block the street there to be able to see if you can turn, right? And here we've got a nice protected bike lane. Kind of ridiculous to think the battery's only about halfway down after all of that. And I've been pushing it at a good speed up a few big hills like this. I've now got 2 solid bars and 1 blinking bar. Wind is kind of nuts. Some scooters have a 0 start mode where you can just hit the throttle and go. This one you have to kick off. I've read that it can be a bit challenging to do that going up hills as it's a bit heavy. You have to get some momentum before the motor will kick in, but I had no problem there. Back to Yonge and Davisville. It's been a while. So where I started this ride was somewhere just up here on the left. I think this was it, Manor Road. So let's see what the stats say. Let me just take my gloves off. According to my phone, we've been riding for 79 minutes. It says 5.73 kilometers. It must have been more than that. Max speed 1.19 kilometers. All right, so something is funky with this app. I'm going to go ahead and end the ride. On the app and on the recording here. I accidentally stopped recording. There you can see it's at 2 full bars and 1 blinking bar. So somewhere around 50% battery. Throw the camera into follow mode. So I hope you enjoyed this Maiden Voyage on the new scooter. That is the Segway Ninebot Max G30P. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. And if you wish to support the channel, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership in the description. And I also have an Instagram account at Johnny Strides. And this is the camera that doesn't like to flip around. All right, thanks for watching. Stay warm, stay safe, and I will catch you on the next one.